Step 3.
T-minus 30 seconds and counting.
Set valves locked.
Status check.
Go Atlas. Go Centaur.
T-minus 15 seconds. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Go for main engine start. 3, 2, 1, 0. And ignition and liftoff of the Atlas V with the Solar Dynamics Observatory, learning why our star is changing our lives.
Steady state operating levels at 100% thrust on the Mighty 180. Vehicle dynamic disturbances look good. 30 seconds ignition. SDO accelerating to midway. Seconds. Everything looking good. Operating pressures are normal. Coming up on going into closed loop control on Atlas PU. And we started closed loop control on the Atlas propellant utilization system. Engine operating pressures continue to look good. Flight control data is smooth, as expected for this portion of atmospheric flight. Coming up on Mach 1. Vehicle is now supersonic, approaching max dynamic pressure. Everything is looking good. And we are hitting max Q. PU is controlling as expected, engine operating as expected. Everything looking good. And the vehicle continues right down the center of the range track. We are 12 miles in altitude, 11 miles downrange, traveling at 2,300 miles per hour.
Start Atlas propulsion and hydraulic securing.
And vehicle has transitioned to 95% thrust as expected.
EC system
PU is continuing to control as expected. And we are now at 50% of our liftoff weight. Engine continues to operate as expected at 95% thrust.
Centaur pneumatics, LC.
Yeah, approaching our
Centaur pneumatics. Start Centaur pneumatic.
Closed loop steering phase. We have entered that. And we fired the power valve, activating or pressurizing the reaction control system on Centaur. Booster continues to perform nominally. Continue to see normal PU control. Flight control parameters are nice and smooth. Vehicle accelerating at 3.6 Gs. We're now 38 miles in altitude, 83 miles downrange, traveling at 6,600 miles per hour. Flight control parameters look good. Vehicle now weighs 25% of its liftoff weight. And we've entered our constant 5G throttling phase. The RD-180 is compensating to maintain 5 Gs of acceleration as expected. We have started boost phase chill down. Introducing fuel to the RL-10 engine to condition it for operation. So 66 miles in altitude, 195 miles downrange at 11,300 miles per hour. We have cutoff. Everything looking good. Ignition, full thrust. RL-10 is up and running normally. Coming up on fairing jet. And we have jettisoned the fairing right on time. Everything looking good. You're seeing normal steady state operating levels on Centaur. Good startup transient. And we've started thermal conditioning firings on the RCS thrusters. Centaur PU is in its fixed angle position as expected. Engine operating parameters did respond to the change in mixture ratio. Vehicle continues right down the center of the range track.
Access control.
We are now 108 miles in altitude, 407 miles downrange, traveling at 11,600 miles per hour. We are seeing expected activity on the reaction control system. Vehicle's accelerating nice and smooth. Engine operating levels look good. Continuing our open loop phase on Centaur PU. And we're now in closed loop control on Centaur PU. And engine parameters are changing as expected, now operating on the fuel-rich stop. This is the expected behavior at this time in flight. Reaction control system is as expected.
Data now coming through the Antigua Island tracking station.
Everything looking good. And we've begun our 104-degree roll to mitigate solar heating on the SDO spacecraft. Vehicle is controlling as expected. Engine operating parameters continue to look good. Centaur PU has come off the stop, now controlling near nominal mixture ratio. We're now 156 miles in altitude, 830 miles downrange, traveling at 12,500 miles per hour. Our RL-10 chamber pressure continues to look good. Pump discharge pressure, fuel venturi inlet pressure look good. And we've completed the roll for solar heating mitigation. We're turning to null rates. Everything is nice and smooth. Accelerating at 0.47 Gs. Seeing expected firings on the reaction control system for roll control and thermal conditioning of the thrusters. Centaur PU operating normally. Passing through 500 seconds into the mission. We are well into a planned 11-minute burn of Centaur. Engine operating parameters look good. We are now 168 miles in altitude, 1,100 miles downrange, traveling at 13,200 miles per hour.
Loss of signal at the Cape. All data now coming through Antigua.
Everything continues to look good. And we have safety FTS system. PU continues to control as expected. RL-10 burning nominally. Vehicle rates are very smooth. Vehicle accelerating at 0.52 Gs. Continuing to follow a nominal trajectory. 169 miles in altitude, 1,350 miles downrange, traveling at 13,900 miles per hour. Now hit the 10-minute mark into the mission. Vehicle is performing nominally. Body rates continue to be smooth. We're now 1,500 miles downrange, traveling at 14,500 miles per hour. Continuing to see good steady state operating levels on Centaur.
Loss of signal at Antigua, acquisition through TDRS.
PU controlling nominally, accelerating smoothly at 0.57 Gs. RCS activity is as expected. Hydrazine loop temps right where we expect them to be. Body rates look good. Everything is performing nominally. We are now 1,770 miles downrange, traveling at 15,400 miles per hour. Passing through 700 seconds into the mission, Centaur burning normally. PU is controlling right down the middle. Body rates are smooth, accelerating smoothly at 0.65 Gs.
About another 3 minutes in the Centaur burn.
Status check for pad reentry. Atlas LO2.
Momentarily, we will begin a vehicle roll to point the antennas
Atlas
at
propulsion.
the average TDRS east position.
Atlas hydraulics.
Ready.
Atlas pneumatics.
Ready.
Water system.
Ready.
And we've begun that roll
Centaur
activity.
engine chill.
Ready.
Engine
Centaur
continues to operate
pneumatics.
normally.
Ready.
Proceeding
Centaur
right down the
LO2.
center of the range
Ready.
track.
Centaur LH2.
Ready.
2,040 miles
Ready.
downrange,
Environmental control
16,300
system.
miles
Ready.
per hour.
OSM.
Ready.
ASO.
Ready.
Vehicle is continuing its turn for TDRS pointing. Good steady state operating levels on the engine. Expected PU activity. Good hydrazine thruster activity. We are now nulling out our roll rate, achieving our pointing attitude.
Two minutes remaining in the Centaur burn.
We are now 2 minutes to a nominal MECO 1. Vehicle is performing nominally. Everything is looking good. Good steady state operating levels on Centaur. Normal PU and RCS activity. And we've just achieved orbital velocity. We are now 1 minute to a nominal MECO 1. Everything is looking good.
We're listening to Rob Gannon, our Atlas V telemetry manager for United Launch Alliance.
And we're now in open loop control on Centaur PU. Correction. We'll achieve that milestone, approximately 10 seconds. 20 seconds to MECO 1. And we've now gone to open loop control on Centaur PU. Coming up on cutoff. And shutdown. We've achieved MECO 1 approximately 5 seconds early. We have 4S settling on as expected. We've begun our turn to PTC attitude. We are now entering an 87.5-minute coast duration, the second burn of Centaur. And we've begun our PTC roll. And we're seeing expected data from the vehicle for a coast phase. Storage bottle pressures, so nice margin. Tank pressures look good. Battery voltage looks good. Vehicle rates right as expected. In a little under a minute, our next mark event is going to be beginning a ramp down on our settling thruster duty cycle.
With the first burn of the Centaur now complete and entering a long coast phase, as we heard, we're going to begin now looking at our launch replays from the different camera angles around Launch Complex 41.